Lots of great narratives out there about why this is going to fail or why that's going to fail. But this market keeps denying all of that, whether it's been tariffs, whether it's been economics, whether it's been interest rates or inflation. This market keeps holding support. And again, it is what it is. Love it, hate it, dismiss it, argue against it, call it all conspiracy theory, call it fake government numbers, whatever you want to do. The reality is the reality. If you want to make money in this market, you got to follow what the prices are doing, and the prices are clearly bullish here. The trends are turning more bullish. This correction is now officially over. So again, let's talk a little bit about what you need to know before the bell. Nvidia this morning is going to open up about 6% this morning. So we're going to have a big gap to the upside. Nvidia had this bit of a correction, and here's what's interesting. For all the conversation about the Mag 7 and the big short selling in the Mag 7, everything else, this has been a really kind of interesting period. For the stock. Yes, the stock has pulled back, but over the last year, the stock has just been trading sideways after a phenomenal run. If we go back 5 years on this chart, we have to remember that in kind of during 2022, the stock went all the way down to about $90 a share before it split, right? And then it did a big split. So back in 2022, you had this very big decline. This stock has gone from 20 to 135 in 4 years. So it's had a massive run. So again, when we talk about this correction, everybody's like, it's the death of the Mag 7, Nvidia's done, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be close to setting a new all-time high today. We're going to be pushing up in this previous kind of top of this range. But importantly, the stock has just been consolidating this massive run that we saw over the last few years. And again, that's not surprising. Stocks need to do that. It's healthy. It allowed, this kind of consolidation, it allowed for earnings and valuations to catch up with the price. And so we've seen that as the price has stagnated, earnings have continued to grow. We've lowered that valuation, the PEG ratio, the price to earnings growth, that ratio has been brought down dramatically. So again, these consolidations are good, and these are opportunities generally for investors to invest in markets and again, take advantage of these opportunities. But again, a lot of these bearish narratives are always out there. It's like, oh, it's the end of AI, Nvidia's over, they're going to lose their, they're going to lose their leadership, whatever it is. But they just keep coming out every single quarter, new products, new developments, new outlooks, new increasing sales as this whole division of building AI factories in this country is really getting underway here. But let's talk about the S&P itself. Again, just as we looked at the market, we've had this very big rally. We had this very big decline back here in April. That is now behind us, and with this move today, we're going to be pushing out to a new high relative here. We had this push up, this retest of the 200-day moving average. We're going to break that little recent high. That is a confirmed support test of that 200-day moving average. So we now have a pullback and a test, and we'll have a breakout today. That confirms that support did actually hold here. So the next move higher here is going to be a test of all-time highs, which are going to put us back around 6130 on the index. So the wind right now is behind the market. We still have a lot of buybacks coming into the markets. That's still processing. Earnings today is actually wrapping up earnings season. So, this has been a very, very strong month. Despite this 20% decline that we had in March and, into April, the market has almost fully recovered that. We're now basically have done about an 80% recovery as of today of that entire decline. So if you'd just been asleep since January the 1st, you haven't really noticed anything this year so far. But this is the challenge with markets, as we talk about a lot, is that you've got to be careful, and this is something Mike and I will talk about more this morning. Got to be careful of these narratives, right? Lots of great narratives out there about why this is going to fail or why that's going to fail. But this market keeps denying all of that, whether it's been tariffs, whether it's been economics, whether it's been interest rates or inflation. This market keeps holding support. And again, it is what it is. Love it, hate it, dismiss it, argue against it, call it all conspiracy theory, call it fake government numbers, whatever you want to do. The reality is the reality. If you want to make money in this market, you got to follow what the prices are doing, and the prices are clearly bullish here. The trends are turning more bullish. This correction is now officially over. We are overbought here. So in the month of June, Certainly expect a bit of a pullback, a bit of correction, give you an opportunity to get some capital invested. But this bullish trend to the market still remains fully intact right now. That's what you need to know before the bell this morning.